A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody watching us here today. I welcome you all to this session of the Jai Hind Global Conference 2020. It is an absolute honor to be hosting a session that is so power-packed with such great young leaders who I wish to meet someday, not just digitally, but personally as well. And without wasting any more of our time, let's jump in directly to introducing the great people we have with us today. The first being Mr. Neeraj Antani. It is absolutely amazing to hear the story of this gentleman. A three-time representative from the Ohio House of Representatives, Mr. Neeraj Antani is one of the very few Indians across the world who is sitting in a political leadership position in another country but India. To do that in USA at a mere age of 23, in a constituency dominated by Americans is an absolutely commendable deal. And Mr. Antani has also been featured in the Forbes 30 Under 30. Mr. Antani, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us today. Moving on to our second speaker, the very well-known young leader from Maharashtra as well as India, wearing many hats here with us today is Mr. Satyajit Tambe. He is very well known as someone with a global mind, yet a local heart. He has been in the local governing body, which is the Zilla Parishad of Ahmednagar, for 2 consecutive terms since a very young age. He played an active role in the National Student Movement of India, then got elected twice to be the Vice President and currently the President of Maharashtra Pradesh State Congress. He is also the president of Jai Hind Yuva Manch, the president of the Cricket Association of Sangamner, and also a member of the Maharashtra Cricket Association. An alumni of the Harvard Kennedy School, he has been involved actively in the local, national, and global activities. He has also been awarded as the Lokmat Maharashtrian of the year 2019. Satyajit ji, it's an absolute pleasure to have you sitting on the dais there today. The third person that we have, and I am proud to introduce her as a woman, is Miss Sanam Arora. She is a British Indian young leader who currently is working as the president of the National Indian Students Union, UK. With a bachelor's degree from the London School of Economics, she has been working as the chairperson of the Overseas Youth of India as well. She is best known for galvanizing youth away from home and creating an atmosphere for them to grow abroad. Thank you so much, Sanam ji, for joining us here today. Apologies. Let's now move on to another astonishing person that we have with us here today, Mr. Siddharth Mukne. Siddharth ji is the regional head at the UK Indian Business Council and is responsible for engaging with companies from UK with an interest in the Indian market. He holds a PGDM and Executive MBA from UK universities. He also has a strong background in business and project management, having worked with multinational engineering and life sciences companies. Sir, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. Moving on to our last panelist for today, Dr. Suraj Gawande. Suraj is a gold medalist and scholastic student as he secured the 8th rank in all over India National Institute entrance exam in 2005. He is currently holding dual position, research and infrastructure, assistant director at the New York University and professor at the Wayne State University, US. The US government recently awarded him with a $3 million allotment for his cancer COVID-19 drug discovery. Surajji is also a global coordinator with the Jai Hind Global Movement. Surajji, thank you so much for joining us here today. Without wasting any of our time, I'm sure the audience has gotten a hint of how interesting, how global this panel discussion is going to be. And let's directly dive into chatting with our great leaders from across the country, across the globe, and understand what their struggles and successes have been like. Mr. Neeraj Antani ji, if I could have you here first with us today. Some of us briefly, some of us vastly have heard about your struggles and successes since a very, very young age. We would love to hear this journey from your own words, sir. If we could please have Neeraj Antani ji.
Well, thank you for having me, sir. I cannot join you by video, but I am on the phone here, and thank you so much for having me. Like Rishika said, my name is Neeraj Anthani. I serve as a state representative in the Ohio House of Representatives. For those in India, that is the equivalent of being an MLA. I have served now since 2014 for about 5.5 years, and was honored to be, am honored to be the youngest Indian elected official, Indian American elected official in the country, as well as the only Indian American state elected official in Ohio. For us, in America, I am the son of Indian immigrants, right? My parents came from India to the United States in 1978 and became citizens in 1984. And I was born here, and so for me, it's a great honor to be able to carry on the torch of the Indian community and the Indian immigrant community specifically. That said, obviously, that like the question asked, brings certain challenges. It is very difficult being, a young legislator when most of your colleagues are twice or thrice your age. But to me, it's incredibly important for our generation to have a voice. And so, thank you for having me, and very happy to be with you.
Thank you so much, Neeraj. Let's move on to the president of Maharashtra State Youth Congress that we have here with today, Satyajit Tambeji. Satyajit, you have also had a journey that started at a very young age. You have been in the local governing body for about 10 years and have been struggling in the political field since your student movement. Could we hear some words from you, sir, about your journey, the struggles and the successes?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank Jai Hind People's Movement and all the volunteers across the globe who tried hard for last few months to make this conference a great success. Uh, I started my political journey in year 2000, 2001 as a student's leader in NSUI, which is a students' wing of Indian National Congress, which is a grand old party of India. In 2007, I got an opportunity to contest the elections for district council, and I got elected from Ahmednagar district. I got two consecutive terms to work as a Jila Parishad member in Ahmednagar district. I simultaneously was also working in an organization, and from NSUI, the next step towards within the Congress party is Youth Congress, which is a youth wing of Indian National Congress. In 2007, I got promoted in Youth Congress. I started working in Youth Congress. 2008, I was appointed as a General Secretary of Maharashtra Youth Congress. In 2010, I contested Youth Congress elections. Our leader, Rahul Gandhi, started a new process of internal democracy where all Youth Congress and NSUI positions were elected through a democratic process. I contested these elections thrice in 2011, 2014, and in 2018 again, third time when I got elected as a president of Youth Congress. So it is almost 19, 20 years of my social political journey, right from students movement to a youth empowerment movement, and through the local body experience of 10 years where I got an opportunity to work in healthcare, in education, in infrastructure, urban development, rural development. And I'm glad to share this experience with you.
Thank you so much, Satyajit ji. Like I said, you're not just a young leader within Maharashtra, but also nationally and globally seen that way. Sanam Arora ji, I personally take a lot of pride in inviting you to speak next about your struggles and successes as you lead the student movement in UK, the Indian student movement, and also the chairperson of the Overseas Students of India. How has the journey been and how did you get there?
Thank you, Rishika, and thank you, Jai Hind People's Movement, for inviting me. It's a great honor to address the gathering here today, and hello to all the panelists, wherever you are in the world. Look, I came as a student to the UK. I was born in Delhi. Although I have a lot of love for Maharashtra and Bombay and Pune and all the various cities. I was born in Delhi, so I'm a Pakki Delhiite in that sense. And I came to London when I was a child, essentially to study. And it was when I came here that I realized, and I went to university, I went to the LSE to do my undergraduate, that I realized actually everyone talks about students, students of the future. Everyone talks about young people. There is such a great focus on bringing more Indian students to the UK or elsewhere in the world. Everyone speaks of Sundar Pichai and Satya Nadella and all the various amazing youth icons we have in the world, Indian youth icons who are leading us in various places in the world today. But no one really asks them what they want. No one really in particular says to them, we're making policies about you. What would you like them to be? And back in the day when sort of this was in around 2011-12, I noticed that there was a lot of this sort of negative rhetoric around Indian students. Indian students come over and they become bogus students in London, and they start, they're not really doing their studies, etc. There's lots of negative rhetoric, all sort of political driven underneath. And I sort of said, well, this is not done. Indian students contribute a lot to the British economy. Indian students are youth icons all over the world. We lead some of the biggest companies in the world. So actually, it's about time that India was recognized and Indian young people were recognized as contributors, net contributors, politically, economically, socially, geographically, etc. And so I started the National Indian Students Union movement in the UK to bring all Indian students together on one platform. And actually, it was a couple of years ago, someone said to me, someone very senior from the Indian political fraternity said to me, Indian students have gone on to study in the UK for decades and centuries, but you were the guys who recognized that they needed to all be brought together into a national body. And so you should be very proud of yourself. And I sort of sat back and thought to myself, actually, that's true. How many Indian prime ministers have studied in the UK or have deep connections to the UK, and yet we didn't have a national movement. And I hope that this spreads all over the world to bring Indian students worldwide together. But that's really the sort of, that was the inspiration to really bring that Indian student voice to the fore and recognize us as a community in our own right. We bring billions of dollars to the world economy every year. There are more than 300,000 Indian students that go abroad to study. That, my friends, is a country the size of the Bahamas that leaves India to study every year. Where is the return on our collective investment? And so really, when we spend these billions and billions of dollars every year to educate our youngsters abroad, which is, for soft power and other reasons, very necessary, India needs return on investment. So my entire journey for uniting students together, Indian students together, at least in the UK, was with the point of view of bringing everyone together and fostering a sense of community and fostering a sense of giving back. And so to me, that giving back to our communities is very important, whether we're in the UK when we're studying here, living here, working here, or whether it's when we go back, ultimately giving back to our country. And I'm a very, very firm believer in doing well by doing good. So I am in investment banking and asset management. I am a strategy consultant. That's how I earn my bread and butter. But in the little part-time, free time I have, I can give back to society and I can give back to my country. And so that's really the kind of ethos we want to instill in people. So with that note, I'll sort of leave it there, but that's kind of the inspiration for our journey.
That is super, super inspiring, Sanamji. What was interesting was to hear that you're also an investment banker. That I understand is a whole full-time job by itself that takes so much out of you. But when you go beyond that and you try to give back to your society, and like you rightly spoke about the billions and billions of dollars that we spend as Indians towards the global economy, what is our return? And that's something that we need to think about.